Today, I'm going to be ranking all of the Batman suits from Adam West Batman all the way to Robert Pattinson Batman, and afterwards, I'm going to be talking about what I hope the new Batman suit looks like for James Gunn's upcoming Batman Brave and the Bold film. So, starting off, of course, we have our tier list. So the tier list is S tier to D tier. S tier obviously is perfect. D tier meaning it's just horrible. A tier is good, but not perfect. B, it's decent. C, it's bad, but not the worst. All right, so let's start with Adam West. So when we look at Adam West Batman, I mean, it is what it is. It worked for that time period. Of course, it was iconic for that time period. It looks, silly today. It looks more like a Halloween costume. But during that time, of course, it was iconic. And yeah, it looks like it's mostly made out of fabric. It's not stopping a knife or a bullet. He's got the underwear, the classic underwear. He's got the gloves. They don't look like they're doing much for him. But yeah, nonetheless, right? It fit the time period. It kind of gives the golden age Batman vibes. It's not, horrible. It's not one that I personally would rank high. It's not my favorite, but it's not the worst, right? So I don't know. We'll probably put it C tier. Some people are going to be upset by that. If you're a huge Adam West Batman fan, I mean, it is what it is, right? It wouldn't work for what Batman's supposed to do, right? He's supposed to fight crime. It's not stopping a bullet, a knife. It's not helping him fight or anything like that. So, anyways, let's move on to the next iconic Batman suit. Let's go over to Michael Keaton Batman from 1989. So, taking a look at the Batman suit here, they definitely completely rebranded the live action Batman with this one. Definitely really like the all black. The suit actually looks like it's armored. We actually see his suit take a knife, showing that it does stop impact from, a knife or maybe a bullet too. I definitely really like the ears on this one. I don't know why in recent time they've been making Batman's ears progressively get smaller. Fortunately, Pattinson Batman, they brought back longer bat ears. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the little nubs that are on some of the Batman costumes, like Ben Affleck Batman. But here, the ears, it's great. I love that you can see the jawline. Looks very comic book accurate. I love the bat sign. Even though the bat sign here, it's not, the most accurate. If you look closely here, it's got like some extra fins going on. I'm not quite sure what they were thinking with that, but you know what? It's still super iconic. I really like this version of Batman. And what makes it even better are the shoes that they used were actually Jordan 6s. They were the Air Jordans that they used for the actual costume, so that's super iconic as well. This one, I'll say it's definitely the most iconic, I would say, for each generation. I also think that it's practical. It looks like it could be in a comic book, so I'm going to put it up in the S tier. All right, so let's move on to Batman Returns. I actually have a comparison here too. Let me see. All right, so we see the three Michael Keaton Batman. We have the first one from 1989, and then Batman Returns in the middle of 1992, and then the Flash Batman, which we'll get to later. So you can actually see here a good comparison, the differences between each of the suits. So the first thing that really sticks out to me is the cowl. So instantly you see the cowl looks a lot more sleek in Batman Returns. I actually quite like this. I like that the cowl is more sleek. The other one from 1989 is a little bulky. And I think that the head movement was definitely an issue for Michael Keaton as well. You can tell by the way that he moves his body in the first film. The second film, it's a little more thin in that neck area, um, but still quite thick. We definitely have those ears that are iconic. I really like those horns. And then we go down to the bat sign, and the bat sign this time is actually perfect. I really like the bat signal there. It looks just like the comic books. We go down to the belt. It's a little more of a yellow now and not so much the gold. I actually really like that. It again just looks like something straight out of a comic book. Now, my only problem with the costume from 1992, if you look at the ab region and the chest region, I really don't like that it looks like an action figure or like a doll or something. The way that they emphasize the abs and the pec muscles. Whereas the suit from 1989, I really like how it blends well. The second suit, not a huge fan of that. Also, we see the same thing with the cupping in the pants, the bat bulge, if you will. Definitely very interesting look. I think that the mask was a major improvement from the first one. I definitely prefer the cowl of Batman Returns, but when it comes to the entire suit, I think that Batman 1989 definitely takes the cake. So let's go back to the tier list. I think, it's still good, but I personally would put it at the A tier and not the S tier. All right, so we were just talking about, let's go back to it, the different Keaton iterations of Batman. So let's go ahead and take a look at his suit that he wore in The Flash. So I don't know why, but a lot of people really liked this suit. I was not a huge fan of this suit. I actually think he looks kind of derpy. Uh, when you look at the cowl, something about it just looks really weird. If you look at the top of the head from 1989 and 1992, it's rounded, but it kind of elevates. So his face looks more full, and it kind of blends better with the ears. If you look at the 2023 suit, the ears are a little crooked. They like almost bend inward for some reason. I'm not sure, they're not straight. And the top of the head is like sunken in. It looks like very strange. And then around the mouth, it kind of hides more of his jawline that was predominant in the other films. And yeah, I don't know. Just like the head looks like a thumb. Like it looks really weird. I really don't like the cowl at all. I don't think that it works for me. And then whenever it comes to the suit, I think the suit looks better than the 1992. I mean, the chest plate, not the suit overall, but I think the chest plate looks better than the 1992 chest plate. But I actually still prefer the 1989 chest plate. Yeah, I just think it looks better. As far as the belt, I kind of prefer the yellow belt because I think that the yellow accents the sign on his chest a lot more. I think going to the black, it kind of, I don't know, it doesn't really like complement the color scheme as much. So overall, I mean, it's I don't know. It's not my favorite, that's for sure. It definitely was a huge downgrade from the other two Michael Keaton costumes. So let's go over to the tier list. Personally, I don't know. It just looks derpy to me. I think he looks silly. I'm gonna put this in the D tier. I know some people aren't gonna like this, but I mean to downgrade that much, I'm not a fan. I gotta be honest. All right, so let's move on to Val Kilmer. All right, let's take a look at Val Kilmer's suit. So, looking at Val Kilmer, he obviously had two different costumes that he wore in the film. So, first, let's emphasize on this costume here. Let me see if I can make this one bigger. All right, so this suit, I know, of course, everyone is not a huge fan of the bat nipples. I'm not a big fan of the bat nipples either, But the actual suit itself is actually quite good. I actually really like Val Kilmer's suit. I think it takes everything from the 1989 Batman and it just makes it better. Um, I think if you could remove the bat nipples, this is actually an S tier level suit. As far as the color scheme, I really like it. I also really like the symbol on the chest. I like the way the cape is. I love the cowl. Just overall, I actually really like Val Kilmer's bat suit. But it does have the bat nipples, and it definitely holds it back from its full potential, right? So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to put Val Kilmer bat suit. I think it's going to be a B for bat nipples. I think it's going in the B tier. It just completely threw the vibe seeing Batman's nipples. I don't know. Personally, not a huge fan of that. All right, so then the next generation or person, I suppose, to play Batman, not generation, was George Clooney. So George Clooney Batman, of course, he had a couple different suits that he wore. Um, they got Val Kilmer's suit over here. Let's see. All right, so let's go to George Clooney's costume. So George Clooney, the thing is, it took Val Kilmer's costume and all the things that were good about it, and it just, it changed it in such a way that I didn't really like. It made him blue. Not a huge fan of him being like a purplish blue color. And then, of course, it kept the nipples. It changed the belt. I don't really like this belt. And it changed the symbol as well to a gray. I don't know. Just overall, not a huge fan of the Val Kilmer bat suit. Or, sorry, not the Val Kilmer, the George Clooney bat suit. I think that it kind of downgraded what the Val Kilmer bat suit had, in my opinion. So, let's see. I think overall, I probably put this one at a C. I think this is going to be a C level. It's definitely not the worst, but it's not great. All right, so let's continue. Let's go to his other suit. All right, so this one, you can't see the bat nipples. I mean, which you would think would be an improvement, but instead they put him in like a silver Speedo, it looks like, over the top of his bat suit. And then he has these weird, I don't even know what they're trying to do with the abs. He's got like a 3-pack instead of a 6-pack. Very strange. Just overall, don't like the coloring on it. It looks really strange. It's very distracting. Nothing about it is intimidating, which Batman should be. So for me, this version of the suit is going to be the D tier. Definitely not a fan of that one. Don't like Batman looking derpy or goofy. He's supposed to be scary to his villains, which, I know the Adam West one wasn't so much, but it still was fun and iconic. These ones are just dull, boring, and derpy. All right, let's continue. So next up, the next generation in 2005 was Christian Bale's Batman. So when it comes to Christian Bale's Batman, I think he has the best movies. Of course, this trilogy was amazing. I even think that Christian Bale was the best version of Bruce Wayne that we've had to date. But when it comes to his bat costume, I'm honestly not a huge fan. I don't really like his Batmobile or his suit very much. I think that it's definitely far from the worst, but it's not my favorite. So, starting with Batman Begins, I just think his costume was like really rubbery looking. Let me see if I can get a better photo here. Let's go. We got Dark Knight here. We want Batman Begins. Yeah, let's go to this one. Yeah, when we look at the suit, like starting with the cowl, the ears again are turning in. I don't like that. I like when they're straight up, like the Michael Keaton suit. Also, they're starting to get shorter. I really prefer the longer Batman horns. I really don't like when they shorten them. This one, if it was leaning straight up, it wouldn't be too short. But I don't know. I really like the elongated Batman horns and ears. And his neck again looks very fat. It almost looks like he doesn't have a neck. He's looking like no neck Ed. Not a huge fan of that. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. He's got like, and then his cape. It just I don't know. It's a little off putting. If you see his gloves, I wish I could find a picture with his gloves. Let me see if I can type it in. Yeah, I want to show you the gloves. For me, the gloves are like a huge miss. All right, so let's see the actual gloves in the suit. All right, this is harder to find than I thought, but the gloves from the first film, they look really rubbery and they look awfully strange up close. Of course, I can't find an image right now. Let me see if I can get a better one here. Christian Bale, Batman. Yeah, if you look at his hands, you can kind of see it here. They look really chubby because the gloves are like so rubbery. It looks so strange. See in this photo, you can see it a little more. Look at his hands. His hands like look so weird. I actually didn't notice it when I first saw the film, but watching it back, I like started noticing more of his suit and the things I didn't like about it. But yeah, it looks very rubbery. The neck is really bulky. The ears are like much shorter. Um, I do like the belt. I think the belt's fine. The pants, they're okay. But yeah, the gloves just look like so strange. Like when you rewatch Batman Begins, pay attention to his hands when he's in his suit. It's like almost distracting. All right, so the Batman Begins suit. All right, Batman Begins suit. I think I'm going to put the Batman Begins suit. Let's see here. It's definitely not S tier, but it's not D tier. I'll say B tier. I think it's B tier for Begins. Oh, we missed one of the Val Kilmer Batman suits. Okay. So I literally talked about it and I completely forgot to rank it. So let's go. Val Kilmer Batman suit. All right, so this is his other suit here. So the Val Kilmer Batman suit, I kind of personally prefer the other one. This is his sonar suit. But it's not bad. It looks like a better version of what the George Clooney suit tried to do. I would say I put the sonar suit. I would say it's really not bad. I'd probably put it in the B tier. Yeah, definitely a B tier. All right, let's go back to Christian Bale. So the Batman Begins suit, I would say, is a B for me. And let's go to let's see here, Dark Knight, which Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises is the same costume. At least it's almost exactly the same. So I'm going to include them. All right, so here, when we take a look at the Dark Knight suit, I definitely prefer this chest plate. It doesn't look rubbery. It actually looks like it's made of Kevlar and other material that is good for stopping a knife or a gun or something like that. I think the neck looks much better. It's not so bulky. My only problem with this costume is the cowl. So again, the ears are very short. They are positioned in a strange way. I don't know. They look more like horns and less like the bat ears from the comic books. Also, something about the head shape just looks really awkward to me. And then his mouth. I don't understand why they did this, but if you notice, the opening is like much smaller now. So it's just like his lips and his chin. They completely eliminated his jawline, which makes the head shape look even more strange. So it's like the suit was a huge upgrade for me from Batman Begins to The Dark Knight. But then the cowl was like a huge downgrade. I think the cowl from Batman Begins is actually better than The Dark Knight, but I think that the suit in The Dark Knight is actually better than Batman Begins. So it makes it a little difficult to rate in that way, but I would say I'd probably rank it about the same. I think this would be, I don't know. It's tough. It's between B and C, only because the cowl, I really don't like the cowl in this one, but I do actually like the suit. I think the suit looks cool. So we'll just keep it in B tier for now. All right, so next up, after The Dark Knight, we got the Ben Affleck Batman. So Ben Affleck Batman, I actually did really like Ben Affleck's take on Batman. I wish he would have had his own solo film, and I wish he would have had better writing um, for his character. But overall, I think that he was a great casting choice. I like that he was a bigger version of Batman and looked more comic book accurate. I think his suit was perfect. I actually really, really enjoy his suit. It looks like it's straight from a Frank Miller comic book. Uh, but when it comes to the cowl, again, I'm just not a huge fan of the little nubs for for the horns. I really prefer the longer Batman horns. So I mean, overall, I think it looks good. Um, I think it could look better, but I definitely really, really like this version. I think it looks comic book accurate, it looks menacing, and it looks practical. So I really enjoy this one. I'll probably put Ben Affleck's Batman up. Ah, this is a tough one. He's between A and S. The problem is, I want to give him S. I'm not a huge fan of the horns, but you know what? He does look very comic book accurate. I think it's going to be S tier. Just his on screen presence, too, looks very comic book accurate. The way he moves, the way he fights, his presence, his physicality. So, overall, I think this is going to be S tier for me. All right, let's keep going with Ben Affleck iterations of Batman. So, we have the Nightmare Ben Affleck suit. So the nightmare suit, I really don't like. I know some people are like a huge fan um, of the nightmare suit. Personally, I just really don't like it. I think that the trench coat. I understand it's supposed to be some dystopian future, but him carrying a gun, him having like a little trench coat, I just really didn't like it. Um, Not a huge fan. It's gonna be D tier for me. All right, let's go to the Batman v Superman mech suit that he wears. Let me get a better one of this. Let's see here. Mech suit. All right, so the Batman v Superman mech suit. I actually love this. This looks straight out of the Frank Miller comic book. A huge fan of the eyes lighting up. Overall, it just looked really, really good. Um, yeah, huge fan of this. For me, I think this is also going to be S tier. All right, let's go to his Justice League costume. Let's go to Justice League. Batman, Justice League. All right, so his Justice League suit. Where's the one with the glasses? Here we go. All right, so the suit itself doesn't look bad. I actually like the suit. It kind of gives Arkham Knight vibes. But the cowl, I really don't like the cowl at all. I hate that they added sunglasses. It makes him look like the Watchmen character. I believe it's Night Owl. I really don't like that he looks like that. Overall, just doesn't give Batman vibes. Um, yeah, doesn't look comic book accurate. I don't know why they had such a good suit and they changed it in a way that's not as good. I think it would have been fine If they got rid of the goggles, that would definitely be an upgrade. Um, and then I think it would look even better if they changed the cowl and went with more of a uh, Arkham Knight cowl. But nonetheless, it is what it is. The suit looks great. The cowl looks horrible. So I think this one is probably going to fall for me and like the C tier. Just the goggles or sunglasses really kill it for me. All right, so let's continue. Who's next? All right, so we still are with Ben Affleck, but now we're going to go to Ben Affleck in the Flash. All right, so let's take a look at. There we go. All right, Ben Affleck Flash. All right, something just looks really derpy here. I don't know what they did to change it. Maybe it's like his nose, something around the nose area, or yeah, I'm not quite sure. And then they put this really bizarre chest plate on him. I really don't like the chest plate. I do appreciate that they did the blue and gray. I think that's cool. But the suit, the cowl, just very off putting. For me, this one is going to be the D tier. I really don't like that suit. All right, so we're nearing the ends with Robert Pattinson Batman. So let's go to Robert Pattinson. So I actually love a Robert Pattinson Batman. As far as the Batman movie, I think it's the most accurate depiction of a comic book Batman that we've had to date. I think that Christian Bale definitely has the best version of Bruce Wayne in the best movies. I think that Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton had the most comic book accurate looking costumes. And I think Gotham City definitely looks most accurate in Michael Keaton's universe. And I love the Batmobile, of course. But the Batman, something about the tone and the fact that it's a detective story, it just feels the most like Batman. Like even visually, it looks more realistic. They went for something more realistic and different. It doesn't look like the bat suit was taken from the pages of a comic book, but the tone of the film feels the most like Batman when you're reading Batman Hush or Batman um, Long Halloween. It's just whatever storyline. It just feels like that noir detective like vibe, and I feel like they did perfect. Matt Reeves did perfect with the Batman storytelling. As far as the costume itself, I really really like it. I love the chest plate. I love the cowl. Um, yeah, just overall, it looks really really cool. I love that it looks like he made it himself in the Batcave. Now, the neck uh, piece itself, I've heard some people say it looks like he injured his neck. Um, and yeah, I could see that. The neck piece looks a little strange. But overall, I think like from the suit itself to the cowl, I think this is definitely my favorite Batman costume. Maybe not the most comic book accurate Batman costume, but definitely my personal favorite. Um, so yeah, for me, this is also going to be S tier. So that is my ranking of the different Batman costumes. You'll have to tell me in the comment section what your ranking would be, what you would change, what you disagree with or agree with. Overall, taking a look at it, I mean, Michael Keaton, yeah, like he completely revolutionized Batman on screen. Ben Affleck's suit was the first, straight out of the comic books, comic book accurate suit. Plus, it's like fighting. It looked like it was straight out of the Arkham game. And then the Batman revolutionized the suit again. Um, and then, of course, Val Kilmer and George Clooney, they were kind of there. They didn't get done justice with the Bat Nipples. And, of course, their movies weren't necessarily the best either. Um, I don't think that Christian Bale's Batsuit did anything that revolutionized the Batsuit. Um, I mean, as far as mobility goes, I suppose in the neck area that was a huge change. But I don't know. Like whenever you look at anything with Batman on it, I don't see that the modern day comic books were influenced by Christian Bale's Batman suit as much as Michael Keaton or I mean, Ben Affleck was more influenced by the comic books, and I think Michael Keaton more influenced the comic books. So more comic book artists started drawing Batman with the Michael Keaton bat suit. But yeah, so that's my ranking. I did say at the end of the video I was going to talk about what I hope they do with the James Gunn bat suit. So yeah, going back to Arkham Batman, I think if they went with the Arkham Knight Batman suit, I think this is perfect. The ears look amazing. They're going straight up. They're nice and long. The cowl itself, it looks practical. If you look at the neck, it's not too bulky. Clearly, he can move his head around. The armor on the suit looks really good. It looks like it would stop a bullet, stop a knife. It looks menacing. I really like that the cowl opens up so you can see his jawline as well. And if you look at the eyes too, the eyes aren't white like the comic books. So this definitely could be recreated live action quite easily. There's a lot of cosplays that do this costume very well. So yeah, I hope that James Gunn, I hope that he uses a suit that's at least similar to this. I can do a separate video on that. What I hope for James Gunn's Batman. I could rank the Batmobiles. Let me know what I should do in the next video, and thank you for watching.